AOC Community Media is Lafayette, Louisiana's premier nonprofit media center with television channels on Cox Communications 15 and 16 or LUS channels 3 and 4. Because cable companies were using public infrastructure to deliver their product, laws were passed in the early 1970s requiring cable companies to provide access television channels for public, educational, and governmental use. In 1982, AOC became the local public access point for public, educational, and government PEG use in Lafayette Parish. More than 30 years later, AOC is a vital part of Acadiana's infrastructure, serving its residents, local government, schools, and nonprofits on a daily basis. These groups use AOC to create their non-commercial messages and then distribute this information to the community. As a 501c3 organization, AOC supports its community in a number of different ways. We give the residents access to digital media equipment and television studios so they can express their opinions and creativity freely. We educate our community through workshops, online resources, and an experienced staff. We teach local students how to understand what they see in media and how to use media equipment to be creators of content themselves. We air local government and school board meetings to keep our community informed and engaged. We support local nonprofits by giving them airtime and resources to build awareness of their causes. Through all of these activities, our ultimate goal is to build an engaged and informed community through media, technology, and education. Lastly, AOC also seeks to preserve our community's ability to express its opinions and creativity freely. AOC supports your freedom of speech, a fundamental element of functioning democracy.
Occasionally, you will see mentions such as production assistance provided by AOC Community Media or this has been an AOC production. When you see this, you know that AOC has produced this programming or has assisted the producer with production. However, most of our programming is submitted and thus produced by the public. If you submit content for AOC's terminology, you are the producer of that programming. The producer is solely liable and responsible for the content they submit to AOC. This means that you could be the one to be sued or charged for breaking any laws. As a producer, you are also the person AOC holds accountable for following AOC's policies and procedures during productions in your name. When you join AOC, you will sign a producer agreement in order for your programming to air. You are agreeing that your future content does not violate any of the programming rules discussed. When you submit content, you will also complete and sign a cablecast contract where you will disclose certain information and again accept responsibility for the content of your program. Ownership of the content remains with the producer and does not transfer to AOC, regardless of whether you choose to give AOC the ability to distribute your content as requested. AOC sells duplicates of content aired on AOC only if the producer gives AOC this right. Money from the sale goes to AOC to cover administrative costs and not to the producer. AOC also posts programs to its YouTube page on behalf of those interested producers.
Since you, as a producer, are liable and responsible, we want you to be sure you understand what you should protect yourself with regarding your programming. To guide you through the sometimes sticky process, there are specific things that you should avoid having in your content. Remember, when you submit content to AOC, you are agreeing that you did not include any of the following in your programming. Programming made unlawful by any applicable federal or state law. Advertising material that solicits people to buy, sell, or lease any product or service. This is our non-commercial commitment. Appeals for funds, write-in phone requests that have not been approved by the executive director. Copyrighted material or other material subject to ownership or royalty rights unless you have the necessary rights. Libelous or slanderous material. Lottery information. Invasion of privacy. And materials offending community standards.
Our channels and resources are available on a first-come, first-served, non-discriminatory basis. Anyone who lives, works, or goes to school in Lafayette Parish can become a member or producer of AOC. However, AOC can only be used for non-commercial purposes, meaning no one can use AOC to make money. Specific guidelines exist for companies interested in becoming a sponsor of AOC or a program on AOC. As mentioned earlier, content cannot include material that solicits people to buy, sell, or lease any product or service. For example, a host can say, "I wrote a book." A host cannot say, "I wrote a book. Go buy it at Barnes & Noble's." Commercial content is sometimes signaled by a specific call to action to do something, like buy a book, go to my website and purchase a t-shirt, or buy tickets when they go on sale on March 7th. For more information on remaining commercial-free, see our policy manual.
Having a television show on one of AOC's channels all depends on you, the potential producer. AOC is here to guide you through the process of pre-production, production, and post-production, all important steps to creating your dream project. If you haven't already, the first step is to come up with the idea for your television show. Will it be a talk show, a music show, a news show, or something completely different? Next, you gather your crew. Most crews are made up of at least a director, camera operator, editor, and talent. Be sure to have your crew register for AOC's orientation or watch our orientation videos. Don't forget to become an AOC member. Next, schedule a free brainstorming session with our production staff. There you can find out what you will need to accomplish your television production goals. If you do not have any television production experience, have your crew members take the appropriate workshops in areas of editing, studio production, and camera usage. Once you're ready, begin using our studios, labs, and portable equipment to produce your project. After you finalize your program, submit your content to AOC or contact AOC staff for additional help with successfully submitting programs and paperwork to AOC. Lastly, once your program is scheduled, promote your show to the community using social media and word of mouth or any method you prefer.
There are pros and cons to creating both series and non-series programming. As a producer, it is your decision which of the two options you would rather submit to AOC. Non-series programming offers the flexibility of submitting content at the frequency that you want, meaning you can submit programming as you create it. For example, sometimes you may want to submit content once a month, and other times you may want to submit 5 times a month. When submitting non-series programs, please be aware that requested air dates and times cannot be guaranteed and are scheduled after AOC receives the programming. On the other hand, series programming is a 6-month commitment from producers to produce a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly program of a fixed length and format, usually half an hour or an hour in length and in a live or recorded format. Both series and non-series program producers are encouraged to use all of AOC's resources, but using AOC's facilities to produce your program is not necessary.
All standard compliant DVDs and thumb drives are accepted. Your program will be temporarily transferred to our servers. A list of acceptable formats can be found on AOC's website. If you do not wish to pick up your DVD after it airs, please let us know in advance so we can dispose of it properly. All DVDs and thumb drives should be labeled with the producer's name, program, or series title, and the episode name and number. Please do not turn in master copies to AOC. AOC cannot be held responsible for lost or damaged DVDs. Digital submission options are available. Contact AOC for more information.
Part of our mission is to educate the community about media and the technology used at AOC to create community media. We encourage all of our members and non-members in the community to take advantage of the learning opportunities available at AOC. Some of our workshops focus on using our camera equipment, editing your footage, or using our television studios to create your own television show. Our workshops are designed to introduce basic concepts and skills to you, the student. We then encourage you to continue your own education. Our labs and studios are available for practice time for our members. We also encourage you to expand your knowledge by volunteering with AOC Productions or other members' productions. All workshops require registration. You can register online or in person at AOC. All registrations must be made at least 2 days before the workshop. For a complete list of our workshops, go to aocinc.org.
AOC is a place where connections are made. As you begin your projects, if you need volunteers for your crew, please let AOC know and we will contact our memberships with this need. Likewise, if you see an opportunity where you can help another producer, please do not hesitate to lend a helping hand. For special projects such as Festival International, AOC uses a volunteer crew to help film these community events or air on AOC channels.
As with any production, we encourage our members to do as much pre-production planning as possible, including making any necessary reservations well in advance of the start of their shooting days. Members can make requests for reservations in person at AOC or online through AOC's website. Some of our more advanced equipment may require completing certification requirements or a project proposal in order to reserve the equipment. Once you become an AOC member, you will sign an equipment liability form. On this form, you will agree to reimburse AOC for the cost of repairs caused beyond normal wear and tear. While it is free for members to use any of AOC's equipment, all equipment must be returned to AOC at the agreed upon time and day.
AOC members have access to several different production equipment options, including multiple levels of camera kit and lighting kits. Our camera kits come with all that you would need to film your footage, including the camera, the batteries, chargers, microphones, and tripods. AOC also has available for members' use several audio tools to help you with your projects, including a Zoom microphone, a wireless microphone kit, and boom microphone. Our members also have free access to 2 television studios, a post-production lab, an audio booth, an internet radio booth, and a conference room.